right? But I see that students who are in this campus are just lazy enough to come to the auditorium, correct? Well, let's not start this session with a bad note, but then I appreciate all the folks who are here, right? Who are attending this session, because this is not going to be your regular session, right? It's not your regular class. It's not going to be your regular tech talk, right? Or a regular resource person session. This is something different, right? No matter I have visited n number of national level conferences, right? Workshops, tech sessions. So I'll try to mix that with this college level session, right? And also I'll try to include all the tech example which I have been working in the last 10 plus years, so that you guys don't feel bored. And also at the end of 2 or 3 hours, depending on your interest, definitely I'll say 95% of you are going to enjoy this session. Okay? Now let us start. Good afternoon, everyone. Louder, guys. Good afternoon. What's everyone again? So how many of you guys are here from North Karnataka? Uttar Karnataka. And how many of you are from Bangalore, Tumkur, Ikadi side? Well, okay. So 95% I'll be talking in English, right? 5% just I'll talk in the slang. Nimak slang nam bhashe. All right. So one last time. Hi everyone. Good afternoon. Fantastic. All right. So my name is Akash, and I think ma'am has already introduced me to you, right? And I want this session to be interactive. Okay. Now, no, I don't want that, because this is not a regular class. It's a tech talk, right? I have traveled almost 900 kilometers to reach here, right? So I want you guys at the end of the session that, okay, sir, okay. All right. So let's get started. And the first question I ask everyone is, have you guys studied big data? I think you are in third semester, na? Right. So do you have it in your curriculum or syllabus? I think in the upcoming semesters, I think ma'am can answer this question. Final year. Then I think they would have been more interested. But then, well, it's the right time. By the time they reach final year, probably they will have the entire interest, correct? And probably they'll prepare well for the interviews. So no matter where I go, which session I start, the first question I ask everyone is, what comes to your mind when I say the word big data? Check. Yeah. So what comes to your mind when I say the word big data? I want you guys to voluntarily put your hands up, else I'll have to ask you guys to stand up. Don't worry, I'm not your professor or a lecturer, right? You can think of me like a friend or a mentor, right? So what comes to your mind when I say the word big data? Big Daddy, Goa. We'll have this comic session, but let's start seriously, okay? Yes? Ma'am, stand up. Niva. Please stand up. Your name? Ishwari. Yashoda. Okay. So what are your thoughts on big data? What do you mean by big? Large. And what do you mean by data? Information. Correct? Large amount of information. Perfect. Please be seated. Give her a big round of applause. So, any other answers? Now at least you guys have an idea what is big data? Innu illa? Okay, no worries. After 2 hours or 3 hours, I think you will be well versed with what is big data, what is data engineering, what are the different clouds, right? We have Google, we have Amazon, we have Microsoft Azure, right? Let's see who are the cloud aggregators and let's try to learn one by one. Okay. So big is how to switch this off? Because in between I'll be going there. Okay. Yeah, no problem. So as Yashoda answered, big is something which is very huge, right? Data is nothing but it's the information. It could be in any format, right? So with the first slide, I think that's enough what you have understood. Let's go ahead. Let's try to deep dive slowly and steadily so that you guys don't get confused. Probably at the end of this session, you guys will be more experts than your final year seniors or super seniors, right? So I'll guarantee you that. So there are many definitions when I say how the big data is defined, okay? Some people define it using 3 V's, some people define it using 5 V's, and some define it using 7 V's. But today, let's try to understand with 3 V's, right? The first one is volume, right? That is the amount of data that is getting generated. Next is the variety. As of now, let's try to focus on 2 things, right? That is structured data and unstructured data. Let's try to deep down later on, right? And velocity is the speed at which the data is getting generated. So let's spend next 10 minutes and try to understand this. I think in the year 2012, right? Or probably in the early 2011-12, I still remember my first Android smartphone was LG Optimus One, right? So what is the latest Android version which is going on currently? No, I'm not talking about Apple, Android 15, right? So my first Android phone was Android 2 or 3, I don't remember. It was, I think, gingerbread and right? So now we have reached Android 15. So now we are in the era of smartphones, correct? Why am I taking this example? At the same time, we got Jio, correct? Jio was not there earlier. Before Jio came into picture, data was a luxury. We used to have broadband connections, dial-up connections, right? Probably I might be around 10 years elder to you. But we have come from a black and white screen. Andre mobile TV, right? And from then to today, we have come a way long. And then data was a luxury. I'll tell you why I'm just taking this example, right? So dial-up connection and hardly we used to have around, the speed was 256 kbps. And today, we all have 100 Mbps Jio connection just at 8 or 900 rupees, right? Then we used to use 1 to 3 GB of data max for the entire month, right? But now we have 1 GB, 2 GB, 3 GB of data every day, correct? So the question is, why am I taking this example? Anyone, any guesses? Why am I taking this example? Let's understand. So let's say earlier we had 10 users, okay? Simple mathematics. Then it became 100, it became 1000, 10,000, 1 lakh, 10 lakh, crore, 10 crore and million and billion and so on. Correct? So what is this number? This is nothing but the number of users. Correct? This is the number of users. So imagine if the users are increasing exponentially. Imagine the amount of data that is getting generated. Correct? Let's take one or two examples. So how many of you use Instagram or YouTube? Everyone? Yes? Please stand up. Your name? Chetan. So, ಯಾವ್ದು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ? ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಾಗ್ರಾಮ್, ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್, ನೆಟ್ಫ್ಲಿಕ್ಸ್ ಹಸಿದ? YouTube. Chetan, please be seated. See, if I ask someone to stand, don't be nervous. ನಾನು ನರ್ವಸ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ಇಷ್ಟು ಬಂದು ಹುಡುಗರು ನಿಂತಿರಂತ. ನೀವು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಡಿಯನ್ಸ್ನಾಗ ಕುಂತು ನೀವೇ ನರ್ವಸ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಹೆಂಗೆ? ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್? Okay, anyways. What was the example I was giving? Instagram. Okay, let's take YouTube. So let's say we have 1 lakh creators in India, right? Let's just take about India. And let's say those 1 lakh creators are posting around 90,000 videos every day. Correct? And we have millions, not millions, billions of users, right? I think the top vlogger of India, I think he has around 3 to 4 crore subscribers. That is the total number of users we can see, right? So now imagine when 1 lakh creators, yes, correct, ivella gottutto. Saurav Joshi, yeah, hudugur nodtar nodri YouTube. So imagine when 1 lakh creators are posting every day, imagine the amount of data that is getting generated, correct? But it is not it. You guys go and subscribe ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ, comment ಹಾಕ್ತೀರಿ, right? Some positive comments, some negative comments, some likes, dislikes, that doesn't matter. For data, everything is the same. Whether it's a negative comment or a positive comment or a subscribe or unsubscribe, data is a data, correct? So what I'm trying to explain here is, every click you do, every app you install, every comment you do, every subscribe you do, the data is getting generated. When we have around, let's say, 1 lakh videos getting generated every day, right? So we have billions and billions of views which are getting generated. So there are so many metrics, so many things to calculate over here. Correct? Now let me take one more example. So how many of you are Android users? Agar iPhone andre, I think all are Android users. How many of you are iPhone users? Yes? Only one? Two? Okay. Anyone? So which version of iPhone are you having? Sorry, 15 Pro. Okay. And your name? Whoever is, 15 you are having, right? So what's your name? Shirisha. And what is your friend's name, that guy? Yeah, what's your name? Sai Ram. Okay, S square. So, let me write your name. Maritane sir nan. Sai Ram Sirisha. Don't think wrong, this is example. So S square. Now Sirisha is having 15 or 15 Pro Max. I didn't hear it properly. Now Sai Ram is like, okay boss, ಹುಡುಗಿ ಕಡೆ iPhone ಇದೆ, even I want to buy an iPhone. ಹೌದಿಲ್ರಿ? ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಶೋ ಆಫ್ ಮಾಡೋನು, ಸೆಲ್ಫಿ ತಕ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋನು. There are any guys here who are selfie addicts? ವಿಚಿತ್ರ ಆತಪ್ಪ. Sai Ram. Very good. ಯಾರ ಅಂದ್ರೆ big round of applause for him. Very good. Okay. Now Sai Ram wants to buy an iPhone. ಈಗ 17 ಬಂದೈತೆ. ಶಿರೀಷಾ ನಿನ್ ಕಡೆ 15 ಆಯ್ತು, ನಾ 17 ತೊಗೊಂಬರ್ತೀನಿ. So what Sai Ram will do, if the same Sai Ram had to buy an iPhone 10 years back, probably he would have gone to some Sangeeta store or Vaishali store or whatever local stores you have in your city, correct? Similarly, if I had to buy some shoes, my dad used to take me, I think around 15 years back, my dad used to take me to Bata showroom. Ivagella Nike, Adidas, they are common. But then shoes under Bata, right? And if you want to buy grocery, silence please. If you want to buy grocery, we used to go to grocery shop. But now what we do, no matter Sai Ram wants to buy an iPhone or he wants to gift it to Sirisha on her birthday, not on Valentine's Day. So what he does, first thing is he will go to Google or Amazon, correct? Company ಹೋಗಂಗಿಲ್ಲ, ವೆಬ್ಸೈಟ್ ಹೋಗ್ತಾನ. Okay, so he will go to Amazon and then what he does, he will search for iPhone 17 Pro Max. Okay, ಅಪ್ಪಾರ್ ಕೊಡಿಸ್ತಾರೆ 2 ಲಕ್ಷ ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಡಮ್. ಯಾವರು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತದ್ರಿ ಅದು? ಬಳ್ಳಾರಿ. Ballari, okay. So he wants to buy an iPhone. What he will do is he'll go to Amazon and he'll search it there. Okay. So as soon as he searches for an iPhone there, of course iPhone 17 and he will get to see that iPhone on the screen, correct? I mean on his mobile or Amazon or Google, wherever it is. Also, if you guys have noticed closely, illa andre ivat money go nodri, above that you can see sponsored ads, correct? Below that you can also see something called as user might also like this, you can also buy this, correct? ನೋಡಿ ಒಬ್ಬರು ನೋಟಿಸ್ ಮಾಡಿರಿ, ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೇಳೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಕೈ ಎತ್ರಿ. ಎನಿವನ್? This guy is opening his eyes and sleeping. Your name? Huh? Somesh? Hannesh. Okay. Good night, Hannesh. Okay, jokes apart. Okay, which example we were in? Ad, correct? So now why am I taking this example is because now it all depends how Sai Ram's data was captured, right? And how the companies used big data or how companies used Sai Ram's data to give him or to recommend him an iPhone or the related products. So why this is important? One ಇನ್ನೊಂದು example ಕೊಡ್ತೇನೆ. If big data plus data engineering goes wrong, what might happen? Sai Ram has, or let's say if the big data or data engineering team is not good enough, not capable enough, and they are not able to write a proper code, they are not able to build the pipeline, correct? Or they are not able to, let's say, work properly, how it might go wrong. One small example ಕೊಡ್ತೇನೆ and how it can be a blunder. Anyway, Sai Ram wants to buy an iPhone. Imagine a recommendation saying that Sai Ramge recommendation ಬರೋದು ಕೆಳಗೆ ಏನು, Sai Ram, you are buying an iPhone and you could be interested in buying this lipstick also. Not because of Sirisha, it is because of wrong data engineering, right? Will you be interested? No. But if the same lipstick is shown to Sirisha, then probably she might be interested, right? So this is one more example of how big data is important and how data engineering is important for companies to decide something. At what granularity, how it works, what happens in the back end, how the pipelines are built, we'll try to explore them as and how we proceed in the next slides. So is it interesting? ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಈ ಕಡೆ ಮಜಾ ಬರತ್ತೆ ನೋಡ್ರಿ, ನಿಮಗೂ ಕನ್ನಡನ ಕೇಳ್ಬೇಕನ, ಮಜಾ ಬರತ್ತೆ. Very good. Okay, yeah, silence. Jokes ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂತಿರೋ ನೋಡು ಬೇಸರ ಆಗ್ಬಾರ್ದಲ್ಲ. All right, so we understood the three V's, right? The volume, that is the amount of data that is getting generated. YouTube example ತಗೊಂಡ್ವಿ, Instagram ತಗೊಂಡ್ವಿ, right? And also we saw a couple of examples. Variety of data. ಏನೇನು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ವಿ? ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ವಿಡಿಯೋ, ರೈಟ್? ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಟೂ ಟೈಪ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ಡ್. ಇದರ ಮತ್ತೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬರ್ತಾವ್ರಿ ಫೈಲ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಅದಾವು. ವೇರ್ ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ CSV ಫೈಲ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಅವೇರ್ ಆಫ್. ಎಸ್, ನೋ, ಮೇ ಬಿ, ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಎಕ್ಸೆಲ್, that's a file format, correct? So the basic file format which is used in data engineering is CSV, comma separated file anta aduk, correct? That's nothing but as good as it's like a Excel. So similarly we have a lot of files. Avro file anta aiti, Parquet file anta aiti, we have ORC file, latest we have in the market Delta files, right? So we have different types of file formats. So this is only related to data engineers. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಗೊತ್ತಿರ್ತೈತಿ, correct? You cannot ask someone who is a non-CS background or a non-data engineer or who is not here, you cannot go and ask him, please can you send me the Avro file? He doesn't understand your language, correct? So that is a data engineering language what we are talking about. So why files or file formats is important? See, at the end of the day, no matter what you're doing, you'll store the data, correct? So data store ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತಿರಲ್ಲ. For example, hostel guys, ನೀವು ಯಾವ ಡೇಟಾ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತೀರಿ? ಹಾಸ್ಟೆಲ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಂದಿ? ಹೌ ಮೆನಿ ಆರ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಹಾಸ್ಟೆಲ್ ಇಯರ್? 1 2 3 4, ವಾವ್, ಸಾಯಿರಾಮ್, 6 7, around 10 15. Okay, so what kind of data do you guys store in a laptop? ಕೋಡ್ ಅಂತೂ ಹಾಕೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಗೊತ್ತೈತಿ. Movies, correct? So movie is also kind of a data, right? But if you go and talk to somebody that I'll share you a movie, he will understand. I'm talking about a Aam Aadmi, Mango Man. Mango Man ಅಂದ್ರೆ Aam Aadmi. ಕನ್ನಡನಾಗ ಏನಂತಾರೆ? ಮಾವಿನ ಮನುಷ್ಯ. ವಾಹ್, right? So jokes apart, why am I taking this example is, you will go to your friend's room and you will ask, please can you share me Interstellar movie or Mungaru Made or Darshan fans ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಇದ್ರಿ? ಸುದೀಪ್ ಫ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಇದ್ರಿ? ಒಂದು ಪಿಕ್ಚರ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ? ಕಾಟೇರ, ಹೌದಾ? ಕಾಟೇರ ಯಾರು 1947 ಇದ್ರಂದ್ರೆ ಬಂಗಾರದ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಕಳಿಸ್ಪ ಅಂತಾರೆ ಬಂದು. So why I'm trying to tell this example is, we don't go and ask for formats, right? For example, if you go and see, there are a lot of formats, MP3, MP4, right? A movie, you know, we don't want to go deeper there, but if you just look at the video also, we have 10 to 15 different formats, right? I don't want to go much deeper because even I'm not aware of all the formats which are there in the video file. But then when it comes to a data engineering or big data, we have Parquet file, correct? Check. Yeah. So we have Parquet file, we have Avro file, we have ORC file, we have CSV file, we have Delta file. Stand up. Last guy. So which all file types did I just mention? Delta, very good. Others? Other files? Gottilla. I did not mention any file as Gottilla. Oh, you don't know. Okay, no, I didn't mention any file name like that. Delta is correct. No problem. What's your name? Mushroom. Ashwin. Very nice name. Hey, yak nagtiri enta chand ಹೆಸರು ಐತೆ. Please be seated. See, he answered correctly, right? He said Delta file. Delta file is the latest file which we are using, right? So currently I am working on a project where we are using Databricks and we are creating Delta tables, and Delta table is the latest, or Delta file in the Delta table create ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ, or the Delta table in the Delta file create ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ, right? So he answered the he answered something which is very latest, right? So what I'm trying to tell you is, okay, earlier what we used to do is, let's say, as a data engineer, if I want to save a file, right? Probably we used, let's say in SQL subject illa. So I think at least you guys know what a table is, not on a paper, in a computer language. What a table is? Collection of rows and columns, right? So what I was telling is, no matter what you do as a data engineer, you have to save that file, and there are numerous files like Avro file, ORC file, Parquet file, and we have been moving, right? We have been moving. For example, let's say earlier I was working into Hadoop project, okay? I was working in a Hadoop project. So there what happens, we were mostly using CSV file or Parquet file or ORC file. Why? Because we use CSV because it was the simplest format. We could just slice and dice, we could transform the data, and we had it. And then we used Parquet file. And why did we use Parquet file? Because it had better compression techniques like snappy compression. We were able to query the data faster, right? And we used ORC, that's also file format. We use that because it supported ACID transactions. Similarly, now Databricks has something called as Delta file, right? And when we create a Delta file in the backend, it gets stored as a Delta file. And Delta file is nothing but it's again a Parquet file itself, a modified Parquet file. What does that mean? It means that when you save a table as a Delta table, it stores as a Delta file. It means in the backend, if you see the structure, it has Parquet file itself, and along with that, it has some Delta logs, right? So why am I mentioning all this is, we have different types of file formats, and when you are working as a data engineer, right, at the end of the day, you are dealing with any one of these files, okay? I just told you the legacy one, that is just a CSV, and then something which was famous in around 2015, 2016 and up to 2020 as well, that is a Parquet file. And today we have Delta file, which is very famous, and most of the projects wherever we use or wherever we work, right, we are working on Databricks, right? And if we are working on Databricks, at the end of the day, we are going to create the Delta tables, because they were explain ಮಾಡಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ acid transaction, acid property, all those properties are enabled for a Delta table and a Delta file. Okay, now, so we understood the 3 V's: volume, variety and velocity. Next is crucial role of big data in Sai Ram's world. Notice the example. In today's world, as in, he wanted to buy a phone, and entire story important because next slide is related to Sai Ram again. Sorry, class alright, so business impact. What is the business impact we saw? We saw how Amazon decided that it should not show lipstick to Sai Ram, but it should show mobile cases, Samsung S25 Ultra, whatever the recommendations, right? So we saw how companies used the data for decision making. That is just one example. There are hundreds and thousands and lakhs of examples, right? Next, the 4th point, that is evolution from traditional ETL to modern cloud based data pipelines. So earlier we had SQL, correct? That was more than enough. SQL Server, MySQL. We used to create tables. We used to store the data there in the form of a table format, tabular format, correct? And that was more than enough. That was more than enough. But then I just told you an example of Geo era. I told you an example of smartphones, correct? Then from SQL, we got something called as Hadoop. How many of you guys have heard Hadoop? Anyone? Hadoop? No. So it's a big data database. It is the first big data database. When it was introduced, the year I don't remember, but I started working in 2015 on Hadoop. Hadoop was the big data database. To access the data on Hadoop, we used Hive. What is Hive? It's a data warehousing technique, right? So we create SQL tables and then we use SQL queries to access the data which is on SQL Server or SQL database, SQL database, Oracle, MySQL, etc. Similarly, Hadoop is a big data database and we use Hive. Hive is a data warehousing technique plus we use HQL, Hive query language. Right? So we use HQL, Hive query language to access the data which is on Hadoop. Ilimata yare karta this slide SQL, Hadoop, Hive. New boring ಆದ್ರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ನಾ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನಾ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಆಗಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. Here. Don't shy, stand up, black guy. I mean black shirt guy. Your friend. So what all did you understand? SQL, Hadoop, Hive? Yes? Hey, I am not able to hear. Please come here. Answer bari nine ನಿಮಗೆ ಹೊಡೆದಿಲ್ಲ. Hey, you are in second year of engineering, yaar, barri. Check, barri. Your name? Sagar. So a big round of applause for Sagar. Stage mein baro samajha. So what were we studying just?
The different collection types of data.
Wow, baadi hatra tha ನೀವು. Okay, so he said that we were checking on different file formats, correct, right? So I started from SQL or SQL Server. Then bari. And what is next?
Hadoop.
Very good. Next? Hive. Correct. So from SQL we moved to Hadoop.
Yes.
And we moved to Hive. What could be next? ಏನು ಯಾರು ತಪ್ಪ ಅವ್ರು ಯಾರು ಏನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ.
Improved version of data.
Very good. ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಸಂತೋಷ್ ಅಲ್ಲ ಸಾಗರ್. ಅಗೇನ್ ಒನ್ಸ್ ಅಗೇನ್ ಚಪ್ಪಾಳಿ ಹೊಡಿರಿ, ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಬಂದ ನಾವು ಪಾಪ. ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್ ಸಾಗರ್. ಇಂಪ್ರೂವ್ಡ್ ವರ್ಜನ್, ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಹೌ ದ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಈಸ್ ಇವಾಲ್ವಿಂಗ್. ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್, ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಬಿ ಸೀಟ್. ಶಾಣೆ ಅದಿರಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ರೋಗ್ ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ಬೇಕು, ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ರೋಗ್ ಹಾಕುತ್ತೀರಿ. ಎನಿವೇಸ್, ಸೊ ಇಂಪ್ರೂವ್ಡ್ ವರ್ಜನ್, ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್? ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ಸ್ಪಾರ್ಕ್. ಕೇಳಿರಿ? ಸ್ಪಾರ್ಕ್ ಕೇಳಿಲ್ಲ. ಮೊನ್ನೊಂದು ಕಾಲೇಜ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೆ. ಐ ಆಸ್ಕ್ಡ್ ಅ ವೆರಿ ವಂಡರ್ಫುಲ್ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್. ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಯು ಗೈಸ್ ಹರ್ಡ್ ಅಪಾಚೆ? ವಾವ್, ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್? ಬೈಕ್. ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್. ಆಟೋಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಕಲ್ಸಾಕ್ ಬಂದ. ಓಕೆ, ಹೌ ಮೆನಿ ಆಫ್ ಯು ಹಿಯರ್ ನೋ ಅಪಾಚೆ? ಹಾಂ, ಬೈಕ್, ಅವ್ರ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಬೈಕ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋ ನೀವು. ಹೌ ಮೆನಿ ಆಫ್ ಯು ನೋ ಅಪಾಚೆ ವಿತ್ ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಟು ಬಿಗ್ ಡೇಟಾ ಆರ್ ಡೇಟಾ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್? ಹೌದಾ? ನೋ ವರೀಸ್, ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಬೈಕರ ಗೊತ್ತೈತೆ. ಸೊ ಅಪಾಚೆ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಓಪನ್ ಸೋರ್ಸ್. ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಓಪನ್ ಸೋರ್ಸ್? ಎಸ್, ಹಾಂ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಫ್ರೀ ಸಿಗ್ತದೆ. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್, ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್. 3 Idiots ಗತೆ ಬೇಡ ಹಂಗೆ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಹಾಕಿದ್ ಬೇಡ. ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ ಫ್ರೀ, ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. ಓಪನ್ ಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಎನಿಬಡಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್, ಎನಿಬಡಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಆಕ್ಸೆಸ್, ಎನಿಬಡಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಫರ್ದರ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್, and that loop continues. So your Hadoop, Hive, Spark, right? They all come under Apache umbrella. Apache Hadoop, Apache Hive, Apache Spark, right? It's all open source. So that is one of the biggest reasons why Hadoop, Hive, Spark evolved so rapidly, because it's open source, correct? So let's say, I think some of you guys know, we have a company called as Cloudframe Technologies, correct? So whatever we are building is all secret, private. And once the product is ready, probably we'll sell it to the market, we'll sell it to the industries, correct? But it's not open source. So whatever we are building, whatever products we are building as part of CloudFrame technologies, that stays as a product of CloudFrame, correct? But here it's open source. Anybody can access, anybody can download, anybody can develop. It means that, let's say, you have some technology, okay, or some tool or a framework. You can download it, you can enhance it, and you can again give it back to Apache so that everyone can use it, right? All right, so let's come back to our main topic. SQL, Hadoop, okay. ನಿಮಗೆ 30 ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೇನೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ರಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀರಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ವಾಟರ್. So I see a lot of students with yes, Sairam, Sagar, Sirish. ಮತ್ತೆ ಯಾರ್ಯಾರಿದ್ರಿ ಎಸ್? ಹಾ, ಶಶಾಂಕ, ಶಾರುಖ್ ಖಾನ್ ಅಂತ ಯಾರು ಇದ್ರು? ನಮ್ಮ ಹುಡುಗರು ಅಂತಾರೆ ಶಾರುಖ್ ಖಾನ್ಗಿಂತ ನಾವೇನು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ ಸರ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ. Alright, so yeah, jokes apart, silence please. Bottle lily. Okay, so from Spark, again, silence please, start our session. I just spoke about Databricks, correct? So what is Databricks? It's a framework. It's built on top of Spark. So in the back end, whenever you run a command or a Databricks job, etc., a Spark will be triggered, or it is using Spark in the back end. So what is Databricks? It's a framework. It's a framework where you can use SQL, shell commands, you can use Hive, you can use PySpark, that is Python using Spark, you can use Spark Scala, you can use Spark using R, right? And you can write the code, you can build ETL pipelines, you can create workflows, you can create automation. Basically, you can create delta tables, you can create everything or most of the things what we usually use in the data engineering world. It's a very good framework. So if you want to learn Databricks, it's a very nice thing to learn. Anyways, you are learning SQL, Hadoop, Hive, Spark. I think most of these, I think it will be part of your curriculum. But if you learn Databricks, I don't think so it's part of your curriculum. So by the time you come to the final year, definitely you will have a very nice opportunity to get a job. How many of you know that Databricks is a company? How many of you know that Google is a company? Everyone, Microsoft, everyone, Amazon, everyone. So Databricks also is as good as Google, Amazon, and Microsoft when it comes to data engineering, correct? So if you are working for the company Databricks, then you should be proud, or you should feel that I'm working in a company like Google, Amazon, or Microsoft, right? So I hope you understand the depth of what I was trying to tell. And next we have is the three big players. Yarappa, I already told. Wall Street, huh? Yes? Yeah, I just told you guys, na? Who are the three big players in the market? Yeah, our three categories are those. Amazon, Microsoft. ಯಾರವರು? ಚಪ್ಪಾಳೆ ಹೊಡೀರಿ. ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್. ಗುಡ್ ಪ್ರಜ್ವಲ್ಸ್, ಬಿ ಸೀಟೆಡ್. ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್. ನೋಡಿ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಬೆಂಚಸ್ ಶಾಣೆ ಅದಾರ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈಗ. Right? So we have three big players, three big aggregators, cloud aggregators, right? First is your Google, second is your Amazon, correct, AWS, and next is Microsoft. So Google calls its, or it has all its cloud or database products in the form of GCP, Google Cloud Platform. Okay, and then Amazon has AWS, Amazon Web Services, and Microsoft has Azure. Okay, so now if you go back to Hadoop, it was on premises. On premises ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ರಿ? ಇದಕ್ಕೇನಂತೇವೆ? This is a premise, right? This is a premise, right? Answer ಮಾಡಂಗಿಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ ನೀವು. So what do we check? So what is this premises? College premises, right? So Hadoop is a on premise or on premise or on premises. ಏನ್ ಹಂಗಂದ್ರೆ? Yes, anyone? It means that if, for example, if I am using a Hadoop, it's on premises antandra, probably the Hadoop database what your college is using is there on the same campus, right? In normal language na helak try madatini. It's there, it will be there on the same campus. So that is called as on premises. And then we have cloud, right? Cloud aggregators. Now why I'm taking this example is there are two differentiators. Is on premises is your Hadoop agli or legacy systems ante hok, and then we have Google's GCP, Amazon's AWS, and Microsoft's Azure. So why am I taking this example is now whatever data you are storing, it's not there on premises, it is there on cloud. Correct? Cloud, and it's not there in actual cloud, right? It's there in a database. Correct? So now no matter whichever company you join Accenture or TCS, or you join any big top 4 antiro, big 4 antiro, you join Deloitte, PwC, KPMG, any company you join, if in case you get selected as a data engineer, not as a Java developer or a tester, right? So if you get selected as a data engineer, there are 99% of the chances that you are not going to work on Hadoop. You will be either working in Google's GCP, or you will be working in Microsoft's Azure, or you will be working on Amazon's AWS. Why? Because they give you the databases, they give you the ETL. Like for example, if I am using Microsoft Cloud, right? I can use Azure's ADF, Azure Data Factory, if I want to build a ETL pipeline. If I want to use the storage, they will give you Azure ADLS Gen 2, and there are a lot of other storages, right? If I want to use GCP, GCS buckets adao, the GCP Google BigQuery iti, correct? And what else? We have Amazon AWS. If you are working on AWS, mostly will be working with S3 buckets. Correct? This guy is intelligent. He knows a lot of things. What's your name? Shivaji. Very nice. A real big round of applause for him. Yeah, avangu real ittindu. Very nice. He's answering so many. I am trying to see. So whatever I am talking, so he's also saying the same things, right? Very good, Shivaji. Keep it up. Yeah, you idu second year alla, all are second year alla. Okay, very good. So by the time you reach final year, try to explore more and more on AWS, GCP, and Azure. If you stick to any one cloud also, that is enough. Okay, you can work on the fundamentals. So by the time you come to a final year, then all your friends will see those. You might get selected in even in Amazon, Google, and Microsoft. I'm not joking, right? Because data engineers are required everywhere. It's not like you're just working in a XYZ company, right? So keep it up, and I request everyone, So Shivaji nodri kaliri, and I'm not joking, I'm serious this time. So he's really, see, I am not appreciating by just seeing his one answer. He has answered 5 to 6 answers without even I asking him, right? That's very good. Okay, now we were seeing about the GCP, AWS and Microsoft Azure. Okay, so when I was introduced to Databricks, right? So when I was introduced to Databricks, I knew that Databricks is a Microsoft's product, because I started my Databricks journey when I was working in a Azure project. Okay, but things changed. AWS also has Databricks. I don't know if GCP is also has access to Databricks, but then AWS has, now Azure has, now Databricks are building their own serverless. What do you mean by serverless? Anyone, what do you mean by cluster? What do you mean by computer? What do you mean by laptop? You hear inta simple answer, right? So your cluster is nothing but it's a set of nodes. Okay, set of nodes, as in node is nothing but a computer in a normal language. So Databricks has serverless. It means that they can launch their serverless. Actually very serverless antar, that's why I'm calling serverless, but it's a kind of a cluster where you can run your jobs, you can run your ETL pipelines, you can run your tasks, etc. Right? So if we also focus Databricks as a project, or Databricks as a framework, or Databricks as a company, we see they are progressing so much. Alright, so we saw the journey of SQL to Hadoop to Hive to Spark to Databricks to GCP to AWS to Azure. Correct? Now the question is, we have one more takeaway here. So we all see that technology is evolving. Correct? We are not in SQL, we are not in Hadoop, we are not in Hive, Spark. I mean, we are in Hive and Spark, etc. But the technology is evolving. So if you guys do not evolve along with the technology, then no matter how good you are in your academics, it doesn't matter. Yes, please stand up. Yes, yes. Your name? Trupti. Yukti. So what was that joke? Hey, okay. So what are we discussing? Don't know. Hey, don't worry, stand up. Just a casual ask. See, I want you guys to be attentive. That's why I do that. I am not scaring here anybody, or I don't have personal dushmani. You joke madatiದ್ದೆ. Right? So what were we discussing? Don't know. Our same answer ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ. ಯಾವುದೋ ಹೊಸ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಹೊಸ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಏನು ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೋ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಅದೇ. Anyways, please be seated, please be attentive, okay? Alright, so let's move on to the next slide. Ilandana one slide I can talk to 5 hours, and probably ma'am has just given me 3 hours. So let's go to the next slide. Well, let's try to understand the difference between batch versus stream processing. I'll just take that name, Yaridra Sairam. So let's take Sairam's example again. So we all know that Sairam got recommended the mobile cover or S25 Ultra, or probably next day he goes to YouTube, he can see technical Guruji saying chaliye shuru karte hain, right? Or probably he is seeing an advertisement of a Google Pixel or iPhone or whatever it is. So what exactly happened, right? So as soon as he surfed or he accessed or he did, his logs were captured. I'm just taking the basic example here. His data was captured in the form of logs. So now we have two types of processing. One is batch processing and the other one is stream processing. Okay. So what do we mean by batch? Very simple question. What do we mean by batch? Yes, the last lady. What do we mean by batch? Group. Very good. Please be seated. Ma'am, ಎಲ್ಲಾರನ್ನೂ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಂದೆ ಹಾಕ್ತೀರಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಈಸಿ ಫಾರ್ ಮಿ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಲುಕ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಿಸ್. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಬಿಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್. If you guys don't mind, please can you all occupy the front seats? Last bench ಎದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕು? Last 2 rows, please come here. ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಗಿಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಬರತೈತಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿರಿ ಬಂದೈತಿ. ಸುರೇಶ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಯು ಚೆಕ್ ಹೌ ಮಚ್ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಟೈಮ್ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಟೈಮ್? 50 ಆಗೈತಾ? ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್. ಸಾಕು ಅಲ್ಲೊಬ್ರು 6 ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರಿ. ಹಾಂ, ಅಲ್ಲೊಬ್ರು ಕೊಂಡ್ರಿ. ಈಗ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಯ್ತು ನೋಡ್ರಿ. ನಾವು ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸ್ಟಿಲ್ ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ದೋಸ್ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ರೋಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ರೋ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಕಮ್ ಹಿಯರ್. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸನ್ನ ನಡೀತಾ ತೋರಿ ಒಂದಿನ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ನಾಳೆ ಸಿಗ್ತಾರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ. ಓನ್ಲಿ ದ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ರೋಸ್. ನೋ 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 ನಾಟ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ರೋ, ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಕಾಲಮ್. ಬರ್ರಿ, ಏನಾಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಓಕೆ, ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಬಿ ಸೀಟೆಡ್. ಇರ್ಲಿ ಬಿಡ್ರಿ. ಇಫ್ ಯು ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಕ್ಯಾರಿ ಯೋರ್ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಖಾಲಿ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಮಾಡಿ. ಆಲ್ರೈಟ್, ಸೊ ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್. ಸೊ ವಿ ವರ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸಿಂಗ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಬ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೀಮ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸಿಂಗ್. ಸೈಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್. ಜೋಕ್ ಮಾಡೋನು. ವೆನ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್, ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಲರ್ನ್ ಸೀರಿಯಸ್ಲಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಯಾರವ ಆಶೀಷ? ನೀನು ಸುಮ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರು ಮಾರ. ಯಾಕೋ ಆಶೀಷ? ಹಾಂ ಆಶೀಷ, ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡ್ರಿ. Silence. Okay, so we were discussing about batch and stream processing. Now I told you about the immediate ads, sponsored ads, right? The recommendations, right? So what was that? It is all probably the data might have been processed, right? The stream data might have been processed and he might have got immediate results. So Sairam might have got immediate results, correct? So batch, some lady from the end said that a group, right? Correct. This can also be called a batch or a class. I think if you guys are going for lab, how many batches are there? 2, 3, 2. So let's assume your practicals, right? So first we are sending batch 1 for practical exam. ಈಗ ಕಳ್ಸಾತಿಲ್ಲ, ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಕೊಡತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ಲೊಬ್ರು ಗಾಬ್ರಿಗಾರ. We are sending first batch for a practical exam, right? So that practical exam, let's consider it as processing. ಅವ್ರು process ಆಗಿ ಹೊರಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ they will go, probably C lab ಇತ್ತಂದ್ರೆ C code ಇರ್ತೈತಿ, Java ಇತ್ತಂದ್ರೆ Java code, we will write, we will execute and we will come back. So what we did, we basically processed one batch and we sent them out. Next second batch ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ, right? So what the second batch will do, they will do the same thing in our language. The second batch will be processed and then third, fourth, fifth, it continues. Okay, so here the batch could be 1 day or batch could be 1 hour. So batch could be 1 day, 1 hour or 7 days or a week. What is fortnight? Game allopa. Now we are talking about calendar. First night yaro ನೀವು ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಇರೋದ್ರಪ್ಪ ನೀವು ಈಗ ಛೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಆ ಟಾಪಿಕ್, there is no such topic here. So we have 1 day, 1 hour, 1 week. Silence. ಇದು ಹೋಲ್ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡಪ್ ಕಾಮಿಡಿ ಚಾಲೂ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ. Right? So we have 1 day, 1 hour, right? Or 12 hours, or a week. It could be anything. And more than 70% of the projects which I have worked and I have seen in the industry, they all process the data batch wise. It's called as batch processing. Okay. So what happens in the batch? Let's say we have batch of 1 week. Okay. Let's say we have batch of 1 week. Now what happens? Entire data gets accumulated. Okay. Entire data gets, Vaibhav, I think you can keep it here only, because I don't know if I am seen at least. Okay. So up to 1 week the data gets captured, correct? It gets accumulated. So this is one batch for us. Now this is further sent for processing. So this is Vaibhav, illit front proper set man. Okay. So I don't know if you guys know, we are streaming it live on my Akash Putti YouTube channel, right? So ellaru ondsala channel na bandiri ಈಗ. And I think ಡೋಂಟ್ ವರಿ, ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ನಾಗ ನಾವು ಒಬ್ರು ಇಷ್ಟು ಗಾಬರಿ ಆಗತ್ತಾರ, ಅಯ್ಯೋ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಬಂದುಬಿಟ್ಟೆ. ನೋ ವರೀಸ್, ರೈಟ್? ಯು ಆರ್ ಇನ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮ್ನಾಗ ಕೂತೀರಿ, ಅವ್ರೊಬ್ರು ಏನೋ ವರ್ಡ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಥಿಯೇಟರ್ದಾಗಲ್ಲ, ಯು ಆರ್ ಇನ್ ಅ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮ್. ವೆಲ್, so if we are taking batch of 1 day, then we are processing entire data of 1 week. Sorry, 1 day alla 1 week. If we are taking the example of 1 week, so all that 1 week data gets accumulated in a folder or a structure or wherever you are storing it on a database, correct? And then that will be picked for processing. That is your batch processing. And as I said, more than 70% of the projects you are going to work, they all use batch processing only. Yakantandre nobody wants immediate results. Of course, for example, if you are working in a company like Paytm or Dream11 or My 11 Circle or TikTok, yes, they're all companies. If you guys don't know, they're all billion dollar companies, right? And data, okay, how many of you have heard about Dream11? Boys ಅಂತೂ ಕೇಳಿಬಿಟ್ಟಿರ್ತೀರಿ, right? So mostly they use stream data. Why? Immediate results ಬೇಕು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ, correct? Or let's say, how many of you use Jio Hotstar app? Correct? I think most of you guys watch IPL. ಹುಡುಗರು ನೋಡ್ರಿ, IPL ನೋಡಂಗಿಲ್ಲ? How many of you watch IPL? Put your hands up. Very good. How many of you are RCB fans? CSK? ಅದರ ಒಬ್ರು ಹೊರಗೆ ಹಾಕೋದು. ತಡೀರಿ, ಅವ್ರ ಹೆಸರು ಗೊತ್ತೈತೆ ನನಗೆ, ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ತದ? ಶಿರೀಷ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡ್ರಿ ಅವ್ರು. ಐ ಆಮ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಜೋಕಿಂಗ್. ಎವ್ರಿ ಒನ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ದರ್ ಓನ್ ಇದು. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಗೋ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಟು ದ ಜಿಯೋ ಆ್ಯಪ್. ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಡೂ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಡ್ರಿ, CSK ನಮಗೂ ಧೋನಿಲಾಗತ್ತಾನೆ, ಟೆನ್ಷನ್ ತೊಗೊಬೇಡ್ರಿ, ಐ ಆಮ್ ವಿತ್ ಯು. ಬಟ್ RCB ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಲವ್. Anyways, so I was talking about Jio Hotstar app, correct? So you guys can see the immediate update, right? ನೋಡ್ತಿರೋ ಇಲ್ಲೋ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್? ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, you are seeing hardly with the latency of 10 seconds, right? 10 seconds, for example, actual score ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ you are seeing in the latency of 10 seconds. Imagine ಮಾಡ್ರಿ, if I am using batch processing here, ಅದರ ಅರ್ಥ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಒಂದ್ ದಿವಸ ಮೊದಲು ಮುಗಿದದ್ದು. ದ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಓವರ್ 1 day prior and today you are watching the match. ಮಜಾ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಲೈವ್ is interesting, right? So in that scenarios we use stream processing. Jio is one of the best examples. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅದು Dream11, My 11 Circle, these are all very good company for data engineers. ಆಟ ಆಡಕ್ಕಲ್ಲ, only for data engineers. ಆಟ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹೆಸರು ನೀವ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ, Pratik. One of my friends, she works in Jio as a senior data engineer senior manager. One of my colleagues, she was my friend in not friend, colleague in Accenture. Okay, so Priyanka anta, so she works in Geo as a data engineer senior manager, right? Nanagu sikkit, but I had got a project. I didn't go because I had to relocate to Mumbai for 1 year and I didn't wanted to do that. So okay, so we saw one of the best examples of stream processing. So stream processing is nothing but it is also a kind of a batch processing itself, but it's a micro batch. Micro batch andre it could be 10 seconds, as I said, right? Hardly you might get the score with latency of 10 seconds, right? Or for example, if we are dealing with some other things, for example leaderboard, right? If you are dealing with leaderboard, let's say my 11 circle, I think around let's say 1 crore participants are there, correct? 1 crore participants, and if you see, if you guys have played now once ಆಟ ಆಡಿದ್ದೆ ಬಿಗ್ ಡೇಟಾ ಅದು ಹೆಂಗೆ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ನೋಡಕ್, ನಾಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಟು ಅರ್ನ್ ಮನಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಯು ಮೈಟ್ ನೋಟಿಸ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ ದ ಲೀಡರ್ ಬೋರ್ಡ್, 5th ರ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಇರ್ತೀರಿ ಅಥವಾ 100th ರ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಇರ್ತೀರಿ ಅಥವಾ 1 lakh ರ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಇರ್ತೀರಿ, ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್? ಸೊ ದೇರ್ ವಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ಸ್, ಪ್ರೊಬ್ಯಾಬ್ಲಿ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ದ ಮೈಕ್ರೋ ಬ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಫ್ 10,000 ಮೈಕ್ರೋ ಇದು ಏನು ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ಸ್. ಪಟ್ 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 10,000 ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಬಂತು, ಅಪ್ಡೇಟ್ ಆದ ಡೇಟಾ. ಪಟ್ 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 10,000 ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಬಂತು, ಲೀಡರ್ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಅಪ್ಡೇಟ್ ಆಯ್ತು, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೀಮ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸಿಂಗ್. ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಏನೋ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ನಿಮ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಇದು ಓವರ್ ಆಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾಂಪಸ್ ನೋಡಿ, ಐ ಆಮ್ ಗೆಟಿಂಗ್ ನ್ಯೂ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ಸ್. ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ನಾಟ್ ಯೂಸ್ ದೀಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ಸ್ ಎನಿವೇರ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಟ್ರಸ್ಟ್ ಮೀ, ಐ ಗೋ ಟು ವಿಚ್ ಎವರ್ ಸೆಷನ್, I don't prepare anything. I give all fresh examples depending on the audience, right? Why? How is it possible? Stream processing, huh? It's possible because it's possible because of the experience, right? So they just don't call as 10 plus years experience. So why people with experience are valued? See, there are two types of people. Over 10 ವರ್ಷ experience ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಮಾತಾಡಕ್ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. Technical work they'll give. If I give to XYZ person, probably he or she will do it and they'll give it, but still they can't express it like this. But still, experience is an experience. That is why people with 5, 10, 15, up to 20 years of experience are valued so much in the industry, and they are paid high salary. Illa andre fresher ಅನ್ನು ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು 1 ಕೋಟಿ ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಪಗಾರ ಕೊಡಬಹುದಾಗಿತ್ತು, right? But what is the standard salary in India? 3 LPA, 4 LPA. I'm not talking about average salary, okay? I'm talking about standard salary, correct? So that is experience, and that is the interest of me in that particular technology, right? Now, no matter if you just, I don't get exhausted. ನಾನು ರೂಢಿ ಆಗೈತೆ. ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ವೆನ್ ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಐ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಟೆಕ್ ಟಾಕ್ಸ್ ಲಾಂಗ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್, ಬಟ್ ವೆನ್ ಐ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್, ಒಂದು ಅರ್ಧ ತಾಸು ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಸುಸ್ತಾಗ್ತಿತ್ತು, ತ್ರಾಸಾಗ್ತಿತ್ತು. ತ್ರಾಸ ಅಂದರೆ ಲೈಕ್ ಐ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಗೆಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಸ್ಟೆಡ್. ಬಟ್ ನಾವ್ ಯು ವಾಂಟ್ ಮೀ ಟು ಟಾಕ್, ಟೈಮ್ ಎಷ್ಟಾಗೈತೆ ರೀ? 3:20 ಆಗೈತೆ, ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. 6 ಗಂಟೆ ಅಲ್ಲ 8 ಗಂಟೆ ತನಕ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಓನ್ಲಿ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ಹೌ ಎನರ್ಜೆಟಿಕ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಟು ಸಿಟ್. I can talk, okay? And that's all possible only because of the knowledge, right? Knowledge is power ಅಂತ ಹಂಗೆ ಹೇಳೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಹಿರಿಯರು ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ರಿಲ್ಲ knowledge is power ಅಂತ ಅವಾಗ. It's not just like that. Knowledge is power, knowledge is money. Knowledge iದ್ರೆ you can do anything, right? You can also come and talk for 10 hours. Well, let's motivation and let's come back to the actual thing. All right, so we saw very nice examples of batch processing and stream processing, and I'm glad that I was able to give you a lot of new examples today. Okay, so ಆಯ್ತು. ಇವಾಗ ನಮ್ಮ ಹುಡುಗರು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದೆಮ್, ಸೊ ವೆನ್ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೇಷನ್, ಸೊ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಬರ್ಕೊಂಬಂದು ಹಿಂಗೆ ಓದಿಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸಿಂಗ್ ಲಾರ್ಜ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಡೇಟಾ, ಹೌದಿಲ್ಲ? ಸೊ ಈಗ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇದು ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ. ಹೂ ಈಸ್ ಗುಡ್ ಇನ್ ರೀಡಿಂಗ್? ಓಕೆ, I want all of you to nominate one person who is very good in reading. Sairam bitta avanu hidtani gagan papa. Soon. Huh? Others, girls, nimdu ಯಾರಿಗೆ? Guruji, whom do you want to nominate? Guys, ಭಾಳ ಬೋರಿಂಗ್ ಅದಿರಪ್ಪ ಹುಡುಗರ ಮಜಾ ಅದಾರ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. Whom do you want to nominate? ಆದರ್ಶ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವನ್ನ ಕರೆಯೋನು. ಆದರ್ಶ್, ಹೂ ಇಸ್ ಆದರ್ಶ್? ನೀವು ಆದರ್ಶ ಬರ್ರಿ. ನಾಟ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟೆಡ್? ಬರ್ರಿ, ನಾಟ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಅಂತ. ಹೌದಾ? ಬರ್ರಿ, ಯಾಕೆ ಟೆನ್ಷನ್ ತೊಗೊಬೇಡ್ರಿ, ಬರ್ರಿ ಬರ್ರಿ ಬರ್ರಿ, ಕೈ ಕೊಡ್ರಿ. ಯಾವ್ರು? ರಾಯಚೂರು. ಬರ್ರಿ ಬರ್ರಿ, ಅಂಜಬೇಡ, ಬರ್ರಿ ಬರ್ರಿ ಬರ್ರಿ. ಪಿ ಯು ಸಿದಾಗ ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ?
563.
ಪರ್ಸೆಂಟೇಜ್ ಹೇಳ್ರಿ.
93.
ನೋಡ್ರಿ 93% ಮಾಡ್ಯಾರ. ಇಷ್ಟ ಅಂಜಬೇಡ, ನಾ ಬಡಂಗಿ ಏನಿದೆ. ಅಯ್ಯಪ್ಪ, ಸಿ ಹಿ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಸ್ಕೋರ್ಡ್ 93. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇವತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅದಾರ ಅವ್ರು, ರೈಟ್? ಸಿ ಯು ಆರ್ ಇನ್ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಟಾಪ್ ಕಾಲೇಜಸ್, ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್? ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆಂಟ್.
ಎಸ್ ಸರ್.
ಹಿಂಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ, ಬರ್ರಿ. ಹಿಂಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ. ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್. ಮೈಕ್ ತೊಂಬರ್ರಿ. ಈಗ ನೋಡ್ರಿ, ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಬಂತಿಲ್ಲ ಈಗ?
ಎಸ್ ಸರ್.
ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್. ಜೋಕ್ಸ್ ಅಪಾರ್ಟ್, ಸೊ ವೆನ್ ಹಿ ಕೇಮ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಹಿ ವಾಸ್ ಶಿವರಿಂಗ್. ಹೌದಾ? ಮಾಡ್ರಿ, ಹಿಂಗ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ. ಸಿ he is not shivering now, correct? Because he got that confidence. See guys, he has scored 93. He is in top college. ನಾನು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಕರೆದೇನು ಗೊತ್ತೈತಿ? ಅಂಜಸಕ್ಕೆ ಕರೆದಿಲ್ಲ. ನೋ ಮ್ಯಾಟರ್ ಯು ಗೋ ಟು SSIT or PESIT or RV, ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಹೋಗ್ರಿ, ರೈಟ್? ನೋ ಮ್ಯಾಟರ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಸ್ಕೋರ್ಡ್ 90, 100%. ಇಫ್ ಯು ಯಾರು ಅವ್ರನ್ನೂ ಕರೀರಿ, ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಕರೀರಿ, ಹೇಳಿ ಯಾರನ್ನ ಕರಿಬೇಕು?
ಜೀವನ್.
ಬರ್ರಿ ಜೀವನ್ ಯಾರು? ಬರ್ರಿ. ನನ್ನ ಚಾ ಅರ್ತದ, ಲಘು ಬರ್ರಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಈಗ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜೋಶ್ ಬಂತ. ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್. ಏನಂದ್ರಿ ನೇಮ?
ಜೀವನ್.
ನಿಮ್ದು?
ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ಆದರ್ಶ್.
ಆದರ್ಶ್, ರಾಯಚೂರು. ನೋಡ್ರಿ, ನಮ್ಮ ರಾಯಚೂರು ಹುಡುಗ ಬಂದಾನ, PUC 93% ಮಾಡ್ಯಾನ, ಬಟ್ ಹಿ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆಂಟ್, ರೈಟ್? ನೀವು ಜೀವನ್, ನೀವೇನ್ರಿ? ಜೀವನ್. ನೀವು ಯಾವರು? ತುಮಕೂರು. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕೈ ಕೊಡ್ರಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್. ಫುಲ್ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆನ್ಸ್. Okay, see, why I did this, I'll tell you guys. No matter how good you are in your academics, okay, but if you are not able to communicate, if you are not able to speak up, it's communication class alla, but just, right, I want you guys to know that you ella top, see, you are in top college anta, you have achieved something in 12th, that's why you are sitting here, right? Howdillo? Carry that confidence in your communication also. The other day ma'am was saying, howdillo ma'am college daga, ma'am, our students are genius but they lack in communication. ಬ್ಯಾಡ, ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಮೇಲೆ ನಿಂತು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ, ಹಿಂಗೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಟಾಕ್, ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್? ಈಗ ಒಂದು ಸಣ್ಣ ಟಾಸ್ಕ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೇನೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ. ಈಗ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಇಬ್ಬರನ್ನಾಗ ಒಬ್ರು ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ, ಯಾರು ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಚಲೋ ಐತಿ? ಜೀವನ್. ನೋಡ್ರಿ, ಐ ಆಮ್ ಸೀಯಿಂಗ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಗಿವಿಂಗ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ಸ್. ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅವ್ನು ಕೊಡ್ರಿ. ಆಯ್ತು, ನೀವು ಹೋಗ್ರಿ, ಇವನ್ನ ಹಿಡಿತೀನಿ. ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್. ಬರ್ರಿ. ಜಸ್ಟ್ 93 ಮಾಡಿರಿಲ್ಲ. ಜಸ್ಟ್ ರೀಡ್ ದಿಸ್, ದಟ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್. ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಟೇಕ್ ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಫಾರ್ 2 minutes. ಯು ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಹಿಯರ್, ಓಕೆ? ಮೈಕ್ ತಗೋರಿ, ಓಕೆ? ಯು ಗೆಟ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟೆಡ್. ಐ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ವಾಂಟ್ ಯು ಟು ರೀಡ್ ದಿಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಚ್ ವರ್ಸಸ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೀಮ್, ಓಕೆ? ಓದ್ರಿ. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹಿಂದೆ ಹೋಗ್ರಿ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಯಾಮ್ರಾದಾಗ ಒಳಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿರಿ ಪೂರ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ರಿ, ಕಮ್ ದಿಸ್ ಸೈಡ್. ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್, ಕಮ್ ದಿಸ್ ಸೈಡ್. ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹಿಂದೆ ಹೋಗ್ರಿ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ. ಹಾಂ, Perfect, very good. Carry on.
Okay. Batch versus stream processing.
ಓದ್ರಿ.
Batch processing. Process of large volume of data at once. Runs on its
Soka. See, when you read, how confidently you write in an exam, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ 93 ಬಂದೈತಿಲ್ಲ, you should be that confident. I want you to read like batch processing. It processes large volumes of data at once, right? Try ಮಾಡ್ರಿ ಒಂದ್ಸಲ, ಮಾಡ್ರಿ, ಯಾರು ಏನು ಅನ್ನಂಗಿಲ್ಲ.
Batch processing.
ಯಾರು ಅವ್ರು ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಕಳಿಸ್ತಾರೆ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಈಗ. ಓದ್ ದೋಸ್ನಿ.
Processes large volume of data at once.
ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್, ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಬಂತಿಲ್ಲ. ಈಗ ಪೂರ್ತಿ ಓದ್ ಮುಗಿಸ್ರಿ.
Run on a schedule, hour, daily or weekly. Suitable for reports, aggregation, ETL jobs. Higher latency, efficient for big loads. Stream processing. Process of data continuously in real time.
ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್.
Handles event instantaneously as they arrive.
Instantly. Okay, carry on. Just joking.
It is suitable for fraud detection, live dashboard and alerts.
Very good.
Low latency and real-time insights.
ಯೂಸ್ ಕೇಸ್ ನೋಡ್ರಲ್ಲ.
Use case in batch processing. Periodic large-scale processing for historical analysis and comprehensive reporting.
Very good.
Use case in stream processing. Real-time event by event processing for immediate action and instant analytics.
ಓಕೆ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹೆಸರು ಏನಂದ್ರಿ?
ಆದರ್ಶ.
ಆದರ್ಶ್. ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್. ಗಿವ್ ಅ ಬಿಗ್ ರೌಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಪ್ಲಾಸ್. ಮೈಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಬಿಡ್ರಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಐ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಅ ಮಿನಿಟ್ ಬ್ರೇಕ್.
ಅವ್ರಿಗೂ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ರೀ, ಅವ್ರಿಗೂ ಚಾ ತಂದ್ರೆ.
ಹಾಂ,
ಅವ್ರಿಗೂ ಚಾ ತಂದ್ರೆ.
ಹೌದಾ? ಮತ್ತು ಇದನ್ನ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಅದನ್ನ ತೊಗೊಂಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ರಲ್ಲ ಹಂಗೆ ಲೈವ್ ನಂಗೆ.
ಲೈವ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಹೊರತು
ನೀವು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಅದು ವೈಭವ
ಅವ್ರಿಗೂ ಎಲ್ಲ ಚಾ ತಂದಾರ್ರಿ.
ಗೊತ್ತಾತ. ಸೂರಜ್ಗೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಕೊಡ್ರಿ, ನೀವು ಇದನ್ನ ತಗೋರಿ ಸಿನಿಮ್ಯಾಟಿಕ್. ಚಲೋ ಆಗ್ತಿರ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಸೆಷನ್? ಗುಡ್. ಐ ಟೋಲ್ಡ್ ಯು ಅಲ್ಲ, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಯುವರ್ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಬೋರಿಂಗ್ ಸೆಷನ್ಸ್. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು. ಅದು 1 hour ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಮುಗಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿರ್ಬೇಕಾರೆ ತಡ್ಸಿ. ತರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ನಾ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೇನೆ 2 ಮಿನಿಟ್ ಅವ್ರ ಜೊತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲ ನಾನು ಫ್ರಂಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾಮ್ರಾ ಆನ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಇಲ್ಲ ಐತ್ಲ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಫ್ರಂಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾಮ್ರಾ ಆನ್ ಮಾಡಿರಿ.
ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಲೈಟ್ ಆಗ್ತೈತ್ರಲ್ಲ.
ಇಲ್ಲ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತೈತೆ ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಹಾಯ್ ಎವ್ರಿವನ್. ಎಲ್ಲಿತ್ತು ಕಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅದಾವ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಐತೆ ಇದನ್ನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ. Hi Akash, welcome to Tumkur anta. Hi guys, actually we are here at SSIT Tumkur Engineering College and students are having a good fun. They are enjoying. So we are halfway. ಇವಾಗ half session ಮುಗಿದೈತಿ. So ಇನ್ನೂ half session ಐತಿ, ಇನ್ನೂ around 1.5 hour ಐತಿ. So I really appreciate all the students and I really appreciate all the staff management for inviting me here. And thank you so much. So I had said that hundreds of colleges are lined up, so this is one of it. Probably we'll wrap up this vlog here. Thanks so much. Naale siktini. Bye bye.